Later that same night, Tonia couldn't sleep because she was thinking about what the man of God she met at Becky Street told her. He said he's a man of God, that he has a message from the Holy Spirit concerning my problem. But come to think of it, are you sure he's not the same person Becky has been telling me about? Should I try this one to know if he can find solution to my problem? No, Tonia, don't be deceived. All these people in the name of men of God or prophets are all the same. I doubt if this person I met today can find solution to my problem. I know he's trying to get my attention so that he can extort money from me like the others. But I will not give him that chance to make a fool out of me because I'm not wise to be fooled, Tonia thought to herself, and then waved the thought off her mind. She stood up and went to the sitting room and took a bottle of whiskey and returned back to her room. As she was drinking it, a call came to her phone. She checked the caller and it was Becky calling, so she took the call. What's up, baby girl? I was told you came to my house to check on me, but I wasn't around. I am so sorry about it. I went to my fiance's place. You know Chris, my fiance now? Becky asked. Yes, I know, but I didn't know that you would go to his place today. I thought you would be around. That was why I came to check up on you. That reminds me. There is this man I saw today in your street that stopped me. He said he's a man of God and that he has a message for me from the Holy Spirit. But I didn't give him a listening ear at all because I know he's trying to get my attention and extort money from me like the others. Oh, I think that was Pastor Chibuzo you saw. He's the one I've been telling you about that packed newly into our streets. Please, Tonia, my friend, you have to see him. I believe he can help you. That man is a very powerful man of God, Becky advised over the phone. Becky, forget about that, please. I am not interested. He's not different from the others, men looking at him, Tonia said in disagreement. Please, Tonia, I am begging you. You have to give this man a chance to help you. He's genuine and spiritually strong. The other day, he hosted a crusade in his ministry. And many people that went to the crusade with one problem or the other were testifying about the man. Please, let's give him a try, Becky said. And then Tonia sighed. You are telling me that people that went to the crusade with their problem were testifying. Were you there? Did you go to the crusade? Tonia asked in doubt. I didn't go to the crusade quite all right, but I heard it from people, Becky said, and then Tonia hissed. You are telling me that people are testifying about the man as if you went to the crusade with them. Please don't try to convince me to go to any man of God or a prophet because they are all the same as far as I'm concerned, Tonia insisted. And then Becky pleaded for her to go and see the man of God. She pleaded and pleaded over the phone because she cares so much about her friend. After much pleading, finally Tonia decided to give it a try. And then Becky hung the call. While Tonia continued drinking, she got herself drunk that night before she slept off. 4 days later, Becky came to Tonia's house to remind her of seeing the pastor. At first, Tonia refused to go because she had not fully made up her mind to go see any man of God. But after Becky persuaded her, she accepted to go, but not that day. She told Becky to come the next day for the both of them to go together. So Becky spent some hours with her before she left. The next morning, Becky went to her friend's house again, and from there, the both of them went to the ministry to see the man of God. As they got to the church, Pastor Chibuzo was not around. It was only the prayer warriors that they saw praying. Becky asked about the pastor, and one of the prayer warriors directed them to the pastor's house, which is at the back of the church. And then Becky and Tonia went to the house. On getting there, they saw the pastor's wife and children, and his wife told them that the pastor went to the mountain for prayers and that he would be back in 1 week time. After they left the pastor's house, on their way going, Tonia was angry and frustrated. That was why I said I'm not interested in all this. Just imagine his wife telling us that he will come back in 1 week time. Well, if only I will go there again, she said with a frustrating tone. Please, my friend, you have to calm down. I understand how you feel. 1 week time we'll go again and check on the pastor, Becky said. Which we? See, I am not going back there again. If not that you are the one forcing me to go. I'm not even comfortable to see any man of God or prophet, not after what the previous ones had done to me without any positive result, Tonia said, and this got Becky angry. What do you mean by I am forcing you? I can see that your problem is making you frustrated to the extent that you lack manner of approach. Look at the person I'm even trying to help as a friend. You know what? I am out of it. You can do whatever you like with your life. You can even commit the suicide and die with your problem for all I care. You can even remain unmarried the rest of your life. I don't care anymore because you are ungrateful, Becky angrily yelled. He hissed and left while Tonia stood there speechless. After some moments, she went home. After that day, Tonia never bothered to apologize to Becky for her attitude towards her. And because of this, Becky decided to stay on her own. They no longer call each other on the phone or visit themselves. Even if they see themselves on the road, they will pass as if they don't know each other. As all this was going on, Tonia never even bothered to visit the man of God as she was told, and she lived her life the way she liked. Some months later, Becky got married to the love of her life and moved out of the street she was staying. She didn't bother to invite Tonia since they weren't in good terms. When Tonia found out that Becky had gotten married and moved out from the place she was staying, she became angry and jealous and vowed never to have anything to do with Becky in her life again. With time, Tonia later found love again in Dominic, and he loved her so much. As time went on, he proposed to her. At first, Tonia refused and explained everything to him. Dominic was scared after hearing her encounter with other men, but because of the love he had for her, he agreed to be with her no matter the circumstance. After that, Tonia agreed to marry him on the condition that they will slow down with their wedding plans, which Dominic agreed. That same night Dominic proposed to Tonia, she dreamt where Dominic died in a car accident on their wedding day. With fear, she jumped off from her sleep, and that was when she knew the dream was a warning of what will happen on her wedding day. She tried to call Dominic that midnight to call off the wedding with him, but his number was switched off. So Tonia began to think of what to do, whether to go to Dominic's house the next morning to call off the wedding. Suddenly, an idea came to her mind, which was to go and see the man of God she had refused to go see some months ago. The following morning, she had her bath and dressed up. She left the house without eating breakfast. On getting to the church, luckily for her, she saw Pastor Chibuzo having morning devotion with his family. When he saw her, he recognized her very well and told her to join them in devotion, which Tonia did. When they were done, the pastor's wife took the keys and left, leaving Pastor Chibuzo and Tonia. Pastor, please, I need your help. I hope you still recognize me, Tonia asked, and Pastor Chibuzo smiled. I recognize you because I have an unfinished business with you, which is to deliver the message the Holy Spirit told me to tell you. So what stopped you from coming all this month? Pastor Chibuzo asked. I am sorry, Pastor. It's because you've been doubting the Holy Spirit, the pastor caught her statement. I am sorry, Pastor. Please help me. I am in a serious problem. I dreamt last night. Say no more. The dream you had last night was a warning of what will happen on your wedding day. And the guy involved is Dominic. Am I right? Pastor Chibuzo asked, and Tonia was surprised. How do you know his name? She asked surprisingly. Don't doubt the power of the Holy Spirit, because he had revealed everything to me. This is where your problem started. But before that, do you know anyone by the name Nathan? The pastor asked, looking at Tonia. Nathan, Tonia trying to recall. Think well. Nathan from your past, the pastor said again. And Tonia began to think because the name sounded familiar to her. Nathan from my past? Oh. I think I remember that name. Nathan is a crippled guy who used to love me. But that was almost 10 years ago. So how does it concern my problem? Tonia asked confusedly, and the pastor smiled. It has everything to do with your problem because he's the cause of what you are going through, the pastor revealed. What? You mean he's the cause of my problem? But how? I still don't understand, Tonia asked, still very confused. I will tell you how everything happened. Nathan was a crippled, wealthy guy. He was the only child of his late parents. Before his father died, he handed Nathan all his properties and wealth, including his companies and empire. Nathan fell in love with you because he needed a woman he will love and marry and also share his wealth with. And that lucky woman was you. He loved and cherished you so much to the extent that he invested all he had in you. He trained you in secondary school and university level. After you graduated from the university, he opened a new branch of his company for you and also opened a big supermarket for your widowed mother. He also built a house for you, which you and your mother are living in right now. He made you and your mother what you are today because he loved you dearly. When it was time for him to propose to you, he did, and you accepted to marry him, and the wedding date was fixed. But on the day of the wedding, you disappointed him. You didn't show up. It's because I don't love him. That was why I didn't show up on the wedding. My mother was against me marrying him because he was crippled. She said she can't have him as a son-in-law. Tonia cut the pastor's statement. Oh, I see. Your mother was against you marrying a crippled man, but she wasn't against him training you in school. She wasn't against him opening a new branch of his company for you and building a house for you and even opening a supermarket for her. But she was against you marrying him. That's the mistake you young girls make. If you know you are not interested in a man, don't accept anything from him, be it money or material things. Don't accept it for future purpose. Do you know you ruined that young man's life? The pastor asked, and tears started dropping from Tonia's eyes. I know I did the wrong thing to him, but he's supposed to know, as I didn't show up on the wedding day, that I'm no more interested. Must he haunt my future? Anyway, I think the best thing to do is to look for him and ask for his forgiveness. If that's the case, Tonia said with tears, and the pastor shook his head. My dear, it's too late for that. The story did not end there. After you disappointed him on the wedding day, he went home heartbroken. He drank a poisonous substance and died. But before he died, he cursed you that any man who wants to marry you will disappoint you on your wedding day, just as you did to him. He even cursed you that any man who even make an attempt in getting to church to wed you will die on his way going to church. You are suffering from the curse of Nathan. the pastor explained, and Tonia screamed. I am finished. So this is where my problem is coming from without me knowing. So Nathan is dead because of me? I didn't know that he died. I thought he had moved on with his life. Oh my God. What have I gotten myself into? All this is my mother's fault. She was the one that discouraged me not to marry him because he's crippled, Tonia regretted in tears. My dear, you people really ruined that young man's life. Even God in heaven is not happy with what you did to him. Please, Pastor, help me. I know I wronged him and I regret every bit of it. Please tell me the solution to break the curse, Tonia pleaded, and the pastor shook his head in pity, and then he prayed silently. After some moments, he then said to her, the solution is a difficult one, but you have to do it to be free from the curse. Pastor, what is the solution to break the curse? Because I am ready to do anything at all to be a free woman. The only solution to end your problem is to go back to the grass where Nathan picked you from. Tonia was confused by his statement. Pastor, you speak in proverbs which I don't understand. What do you mean by I should go back to the grass where Nathan picked me from? I never lived in the grass. So what did you mean by that? She asked confusedly, and the pastor smiled. Nathan picked you from the grass and cleaned you up. What I mean is that when Nathan met you, you and your mother were very poor. You hardly fed yourselves. But ever since you met Nathan, he changed your life to what you are today. The only solution to break this curse is to go back to square one. I mean, you have to sell your company and every other thing Nathan gave to you. And you will have to empty your bank account and give all the money, all, to the orphanage. Your mother will have to sell her supermarket and also empty her account and give the money to the orphanage as well. Then lastly, the house Nathan built for you and your mother, you will use it and sow a seed to a widow in your streets called Esther. What? Tonia screamed. Yes, you have no choice but to do it because that's the only way out for you, the pastor said. That will be a very difficult task, Pastor. Is there no other solution? Tonia asked in anxiety. No, there's no other solution apart from going back to square one, to the level Nathan met you. Because as far as his possession is still with you, you can never be free from his curse, Pastor Chibuzo said. And again, Tonia shook her head. I knew that nothing good lasts forever. If I had known that all this will happen to me, I wouldn't have involved myself with Nathan in the first place. Now look at where the greed of money and material things had landed me. So this is how we go back to square one. Truly, this life is unpredictable. Unpredictable indeed. But at least, if you do all this, you will be a free woman once again, the pastor added. Even if I agree to do all this, Pastor, I don't think my mother will agree to sell her supermarket and empty her account. Going back to square one would be very difficult for her to do, Tonia said. She will have to do it though, my dear, so that you can be free. After all, the money she is enjoying is not her own, but for the dead Nathan. You people have to go back to the level he met you and start all over because that's the only solution to end all this problem you're going through. Tonia exhaled like a finished woman. And then the pastor continued. When you people are done doing what the Holy Spirit had instructed, you can then come for deliverance to be completely free from the curse. When he was done telling Tonia all this, he prayed for her and then she left. As Tonia got home, she told her mother everything the pastor said. And her mother said to her, "You must be out of your mind for telling me that. See, I don't know the plan of that fake pastor you went to see, but you see me, Maria. It is impossible for me to go back to square one." Mom, please. I know it's a difficult task for you to do, but it's for my own good. Don't you want me to get married happily and give you grandchildren? Please, you have to do this for me because that's the only solution to my problem, Tonia pleaded. Don't even try to tell me that rubbish again because it will not work. Can you hear yourself? That we should sell all we have and give it to the orphanage. That one is not enough for you. You are still telling me that we should give our beautiful house to that poor old woman in our street named Esther. That hungry and wretched woman. Now I can see that your problem is really affecting your brain. Just open your mouth and utter that rubbish again and see if I will not use slap to remove one of your teeth, her mother angrily said. As all this was going on, Tonia's mother refused to do what she was asked to do because she couldn't imagine herself going back to square one. One afternoon, she was at a supermarket thinking about what her daughter told her. After some moments, she then looked at her supermarket and sighed. This would be a very difficult thing to do. How can I sell my supermarket and empty my account to give the money to the orphanage and then go back to square one with my daughter? No, this will not work because I know how I suffered with my daughter when my husband died. Now that God had decided to bless me, one pastor from nowhere wants us to give everything we have because of some cock and book story about my daughter's problem. No, I can't do it. Never, Maria thought in disagreement. As she was still in her supermarket thinking, Mama Stella came in to visit her, and from there she explained everything to her. My sister, don't try that. How can you sell this your expensive supermarkets and empty your account for the orphanage just because of your daughter's problem? Don't try that. See, don't worry. There is this strong native doctor that I know. I believe he can help give us a solution to your daughter's problem, she advised. That was the same thing you told me the other time, that your pastor will find solution to my daughter's problem. But after everything, he couldn't find the solution. And now you are telling me of a native doctor. No, now I can't do that. I can't go to any native doctor because I'm a Christian. I don't believe in such. Again, it is a sin before God. Look at the person I'm trying to help. So you prefer to go back to square one with your daughter? Mama Stella asked, and Maria was speechless that moment. Not that I like to go back to square one, but my major problem is, you know I don't believe in native doctors, and besides, what if we go to a native doctor and my daughter's problem still continues? See, there is nothing to worry about. Your daughter's problem will be over once we visit the native doctor, so worry less, Mama Stella assured. But still, Maria wasn't comfortable with the idea. I am not just comfortable with this native daughter of 18. I am a Christian. You know God will not be happy with me. And Mama Stella hissed. Which Christian, Bikono? Am I not a Christian too? Am I not the women's leader in my church? But yet, I do go to native doctor at times. See, my sister, not every problem will the church help you with. All the one you have been going to, were they able to find solution to your daughter's problem? You have to use your common sense. You have to use your number 6, Mama Stella said, and Maria thought about it. After some moments, she finally agreed. Okay, no problem. So when are we going there? She asked. Today is what? Mama Stella also asked. Today is Tuesday, Maria replied. Okay, we will go there on Thursday. I hope that will be okay by you, Mama Stella asked, trying to be sure. Why not? It will be okay. But first, I will talk to my daughter about it before we go there. If only she will agree to go with us, Tonia's mother said. There is no problem about that. Even if she refuses to go with us, you can go on her behalf. After all, they are doing all this for our own good. Or does she prefer to do what the so-called pastor told her to do? Anyways, just discuss it with her. If she refuses to go with us, then we can go without her, Mama Stella said, and then spend some moments with her friend in the supermarket before leaving. When Maria closed for the day, she went home and told her daughter about the discussion she had with Mama Stella. But Tonia refused and insisted they must do what the pastor told them to do. But her mother said over her dead body, we should do that. Later that night, Maria had a dream. She saw herself in a supermarket counting a bundle of money. As she was counting it, someone tapped her from behind in her dream. She turned to know who it was. To her surprise, it was Nathan sitting on a wheelchair with tears in his eyes. When Maria saw him, she was frightened because she knew he was dead. Stop counting my money unnecessarily. No matter where you go to find solution to Tonia's problem, my curse will continue to haunt her. It will haunt her and it will haunt her, Nathan continued to say, and then he disappeared. With fear, Tonia's mother screamed and jumped from her sleep, panting and sweating. What kind of a terrible nightmare is this? But I haven't seen Nathan all this while in my dream. Why now? Why will he torment me in my dream? I am not the one that killed him. What does it mean by his curse will continue to haunt my daughter? I think I understand what he meant by that. But I will not give him. Tonia's mother hadn't finished her statement before she heard strange noise in her room. With fear, she ran out of her room to her daughter's room. When Tonia saw her mother rush into the room panting, she asked her what was wrong, and her mother told her about the dream and the strange noise she heard. That's why I told you we should do what the pastor asked us to do, but you refused. Now you see, Nathan has started tormenting you. But I'm not the one that killed him now. Why will he torment me? Her mother asked, still panting. Yes, we are not the one that killed him, but we caused his untimely death. If I hadn't disappointed him on the wedding day, he wouldn't have died. Remember, you were the one that told me not to marry him, that you don't want a crippled man as a son-in-law. And besides, the money we are enjoying now is Nathan's money, and we are told to sell everything and give the money to the orphanage. Mom, please, we have to do what we were asked to do, Tonia insisted, and her mother still persisted. No, my daughter. Going back to square one is not a good option. Do you know what it means? Going back to suffer and to start all over again. No, I don't think it will be possible. You have to understand where I'm heading to. Her mother still disagreed. The next day, Tonia's mother was at the supermarket attending to one of her female customers who came to buy provision. As she was attending to her, someone tapped her from behind. She turned to know who it was but didn't see anyone apart from the customer she was attending to. Sorry. Were you the one that just tapped me? She asked, looking at the customer. Tapped you? No. Why should I do that when you are still attending to me? The customer said confusedly, and then Tonia's mother continued to attend to her. Not too long, someone tapped her again from behind. She turned back but couldn't see anyone apart from the customer she was attending to. She became pissed. Please, if you know you are not buying these provisions again, why not let me know rather than tapping me from behind up and down? Maria angrily said to the customer, who was confused by her statement. Madam, I don't understand what you are saying. Are you sure everything is okay? The customer asked. So you mean you didn't tap? Sonia's mother hadn't finished her statement when all of a sudden she heard a loud voice. My curse will continue to haunt your daughter. It will continue to haunt your daughter, and it will continue to haunt your daughter, the strange voice said. When Tonia's mother heard this, with fear she left the customer there and ran out of the supermarket. What's wrong with this woman? She hadn't finished attending to me before she ran out of the supermarket as if something is chasing her. Are you sure this woman is not running mad? Anyway, I think the best thing to do is to go to another supermarket and get the provisions that I need, the customer thought to herself and then left. Meanwhile, Tonia's mother continued to run. People who saw her running on the road thought she was running mad, while others who know her asked why she was running, but she ignored them and continued running home. As she got home, Tonia wasn't at home that moment. She wanted to call her daughter, but she remembered that she forgot her phone at the supermarket. So she rushed to Tonia's office, and luckily for her, she saw her there. She explained everything that happened to her in the supermarket and told her daughter that she was ready to do what the pastor told them to do so that Tonia can be free and she too can have peace. The next day, which was on Thursday, Mama Stella came so that she and her friend would go to the native daughter as they agreed. But Mama Tonia told her that she was not interested anymore as she had decided to do what the pastor told them to do, which is to sell everything they have, and Mama Stella left disappointed. 3 days later, Tonia's mother sold her supermarkets and emptied all her accounts and gave the money to the orphanage, and Tonia did the same thing. After that, they gave their house to the woman named Esther in the streets. Esther happens to be a poor, childless old widow living in the streets. She hardly feeds herself and also begs to survive. But God finally remembered her and decided to end her suffering through the house which Tonia gave to her. After Tonia and her mother had done what they were asked to do, they went to Pastor Chibuzo and he prayed for them and gave them one room in the church to start afresh. And he also did deliverance for Tonia, which lasted for 1 week. After the deliverance was complete, the curse was finally broken from Tonia and she became free once again and dedicated her life to God. Even her mother stopped seeing Nathan in her dream and anywhere. Tonia later apologized and reconciled with her friend Becky. Some months after, Tonia and Dominic got married successfully and happily without any problem. Hey African Tales by Kamma Tribe, how are you all doing? For me, I am doing just fine, and I'm also grateful to God that this story has ended. I know you learned 1 or 2 things from the story, and I would like to read from you in the comment section. Just before I go, I would like to speak to our young guys and young ladies out there that are still single. See, there is no need of allowing someone you know deep down you aren't ready to settle down with to spend so much on you. Not everyone can forgive. Some people can go as far as going to villages to lay curses. Don't let anyone deceive you. Curses are real. If not for yourself, but for your spouse. Some people, they get married and they begin to suffer for the things they know nothing about. Some may even marry for 10 years, 5 years, 6 years, no childbirth. Some, they get pregnant and before you know, they miscarry. Causes are real. If not for yourself, my brother, my sister, but for the sake of your spouse in the future. Don't let anybody, use your head for practicals to test if a deity is working or not. There's no need of allowing someone to spend so much on you when you know you are not ready to settle down with the person. The year is coming to an end. Use your tongue to count the number of your teeth, and I am sure the Lord will help you and lead you to the right person. Alright, please like, subscribe if you have not, and share this story out to your loved ones, because I believe this is a life pack lessons for 1 or 2 people to learn from. If you like what Kamma is doing and you want to support me, kindly use the link on my bio or the link on the description of this video to buy me coffee. You can as well buy me your super thanks. Until I bring the next series your way, it is a goodbye from here, and God bless you.